In addition to the normal podcasting and commentary I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be shining spotlight by interviewing individual players as well. And this can be pretty much about anything. It could be competitive players, casual players, map makers, really anything from anybody who seems like they sort of have particular interest within the Team Fortress 2 community. And for this one, I'm going with a longtime friend of mine, pretty long-time comp player, and somebody who has a lot of insight of their own to offer. So as you can see here, we got some cat pictures, pretty respectable. If you know the person, or if you're looking up at my screen, you also know at this point, or at the title, but that's besides the point. I'm the main character. Here he is now, wolfteeth, also known as Darzie. As you can see here, you got Steam profile. Very tolerant individual. Sources cited, myself. As you can see, little short description section. You can see some items. You can see Steam groups, cats, I approve, I like cats, this is cats and hats. And here you can see some Steam artwork. I'm probably not going to look at that one, it's not appropriate for all audiences. I respect it. But you can see some artwork over here. Pretty scoutalicious, and you got some sniping action too. A little bit of a dab. You're going to lose some social credit score for that one, I'm afraid. Here you have UGC history. Quite an extensive history, really. And, Darzie, if I may ask, what initially got you into competitive?
Oh, hello. That's a interesting story. I got my start playing. Okay, wait. First, I need to clarify one thing. The artwork on my profile that's not approved for all ages. It's just regular TF2 artwork that got filtered for some reason. Okay, now that important fact is out of the way.
I'll have to consult the advisors on that one. We'll review it. As you were.
So initially, I got my start in TF2 was I was hanging out on IRC, as you do, chatting with people, and one of the friends was a gamer and into TF2, so I started playing TF2, and I joined the server he was on, and this would have been like 2011, 2010, 2012, 2010, I think, which is fucked in the head, FITH.
Yeah, it says here that you were fucked in the head. Would you care to clarify?
I saw the name for the community, and I was like, oh, yes. But yeah, FITH is a broader community, and they're not just TF2. I think a lot of comp players just thought they were a Highlander team, which is not entirely true, but yeah, I joined FITH, enjoyed a lot of TF2, and I heard there was competitive. And this was just, here's how old this was, like SIVO was still a league at the time.
Wow, that's quite a long time ago, yeah.
I mean, I think it wasn't like its death throes, but like, it was a league. So I looked into competitive a bit, and at the time I like only played Scout and literally nothing else. That's not an exaggeration.
Did you Sorry, go on.
And I went to like the UGC to look around, and I learned that Scout is immensely popular. And at the time I had pretty bad anxiety, so I still have pretty bad anxiety. So I was like, okay, I don't want to try out for Scout. I'm just going to make my own team. Because I don't want to try out for Scout, which was, I thought that was a logical action. I don't think it was, but you know. So that's how my iteration of the FITH Highlander team started.
And what kept you going on FITH for so long, Highlander-wise?
I mean, a number of things. Like, I think the FITH community was genuinely very nice. I played with a lot of friends, because like how the team started is I went to all the best players on the server, and I was like, hey, do you have time to do this thing? Like, it's on Mondays, we'll probably practice a couple of nights a week. Just like be a basic friend team.
So, if I might ask, how do you feel about Scrimmy Bingus?
Wait, is that a team, or is that...
It's a team, it's an idea, it's a place, it's anything you could have wanted to be, but yes, Scrimmy Bingus is Scrunchy Bunch. What do you gotta say about that?
Scrunchy Bunch, so...
Not the team, just Scrimmy Bingus. Give us some
Scrimmy
insight.
Bingus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I have anything to say about Scrimmy Bingus. I'm not hip to the recent memes. I'm sorry.
It's not actually Bingus. Oh my, that's so cringe. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry, audience. It's not Bingus the cat. So anyways, let's go. With that being showcased, let's move on to some casual we talk now. So, yeah. So be rather.
Yes.
You got a server in mind?
The server I'm in might actually be full right now. So you can pick a server and like slip me the IP address.
Okay.
But I was gonna say like what kept me with FITH.
Let's go with the Atlanta payload and attack defense 2. Sorry, as you're saying.
So it started out as kind of a friend team, and like friend teams can be fun when everyone's on the same page, I think.
Right.
And as it kept going, I ended up having to like fill, because like people who were in FITH would drop in and out. And I ended up picking up a lot of like newer players and different people, and a lot of friends along the way. I think like at one point, pretty much all my friends had been on the FITH roster at least once.
I see. So, what was your favorite season of FITH? As a team.
It's so hard to choose. There's a lot of fun stuff. I think that's like, cause like I feel like every season is unique.
That's definitely fair.
There was one. It's hard to also remember what happened in which season.
All blends together after a certain point.
Yeah, because like you showed the UGC thing. I think that
Yep.
I've been on like so many seasons,
Who
and then I did RGL for a bit.
Who was your favorite teammate then on FITH?
Oh God.
And I will be judging you.
You will be judging me.
Important to note.
It's hard. It's hard to choose because like it's also such a long running team. Like Ninja Mukau was on like FITH at one point. And he was a great teammate, great to play with. I had a friend named Barracuda who was really reliable.
Is the or are they bear free?
No.
Ah, okay, just a putty name. I respect it.
Yeah.
Dreadshot.
Wait, do you remember Dreadshot?
No.
Bliztank?
I do not.
Okay. He might be my favorite. But don't tell the others in this completely secret podcast we're doing.
Totally cut this out. Yep. I'm very trustworthy.
Thank you.
You can tell me. You can tell I'm trustworthy because I'm saying that I'm trustworthy. No villain would say
thank
that.
God.
Of course.
Dreadshot was a sniper who lived in Denmark.
Oh. So European. ...
Yeah, and he always had the high ping. But he also had like a really weird sleep schedule. So like he just played North American Highlander.
Sounds like a true gamer. You know, I respect it. That sounds like a meta choice given the context.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he doesn't play TF2 anymore, but he was a great teammate, a lot of fun. Eventually he got too good for the FITH team, basically. And went to yeah.
Hate when that happened.
Yeah. But I mean, it's nice to like see that your friends are doing well.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's kind of like a natural part of progression as well. Like some people are just gonna go ahead of others. Like you're not usually gonna see the entire like same roster stick around, but it is always nice when it happens.
Yeah.
So
the FITH team. Sorry.
No, continue.
I was gonna say part of the reason the FITH team never really advanced is like it was a choice I would have had to make, if that makes sense.
Right, like you don't want to have to cut out any friends. You just want to be able to play with the same people that you initially started playing with. No, I respect that, and I feel like that's something like a lot of teams don't really adhere to these days. Like I feel like they just don't have as much in the way of principle anymore.
Yeah, I mean there is something to be said for like Froyotech and what's their name? I don't watch competitive Highlander anymore. I'm sorry, everyone.
Honestly, that's
or
fair.
competitive sixes.
I'm assuming you'd be talking about maybe somebody help for Highlander. They've stuck together for, like, with the same roster for a bit, like same roster-ish for a bit now. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for like getting to be like the top, where you like having your roster based off who's the best. Like I think Froyotech has that
Yeah.
going pretty well.
And I believe for a while, like at least in Prolander, it's just like they'd pick up some of the best competition from time to time. It's a pretty successful
basically.
strat. It's business 101. Acquisition.
It is. It's business. It is. It is a bit more like a business transaction than like a hobby, and like I respect that, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it's not the sort of team like everybody's gonna run, but it's like you definitely have to respect the legacy, the success. What caused FITH to eventually die as a team, anyway?
There's a lot. What year did it die? What was it? It's a little bit complicated.
Some personal drama, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Part of it, there were a couple of years where I wasn't in charge. Someone else was. And then it was also just a lot of years of like running a team, like having to recruit everyone.
Right, and after a while it just like burns you out, and there isn't always somebody to pick up the torch. Like that kind of happened with Luigi and Home Depot Esports. Yeah.
Yeah, like organizing all the scrims, renting the servers.
Right.
By the way, before ServMe existed, that was a dark time.
Oh yeah, what did people do before that?
You rented your own server, or you borrowed your friend who rented their own server.
Ah, so you basically just had team servers back then.
We did. And you could set the password to something horrible, like in Mumble.
Oh no. Oh no. You know what this reminds me of, Darzie?
What?
Zeppelins. They just up and died out, you know? They became obsolete.
Yeah.
The Zeppelin fandom is dying, and it's truly tragic.
There was, I had some, how do I put this in a way that's podcast friendly? It's not that bad. It's just basically, there was someone in my life at around the time FITH died who was manipulating me. And as part of that, I dropped like a lot of my gaming friends.
That's fair, yeah, I imagine that would strike kind of deep, yeah.
Yeah, which was nuts.
Sorry to hear that.
It is what it is.
Things going a bit better now, though?
Oh yeah, this was...
That's good to hear.
Yeah, this was pretty far in the past, and like... Once I got past all of that is when I came back to like doing TF2 stuff for a bit.
Right, and would that be around like the RGL era or so?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what would you say like was one of the biggest issues with UGC back when you played?
This might be my bias showing a bit, but I feel like they had a really poor grasp on toxicity.
No, I could definitely see that. Yeah, RGL is just like a decent bit more transparent in that regard.
Yeah.
I think another thing to note though is that like a lot of the toxicity was like more rooted and hidden back then, like before the age of the Discord servers and group chats and whatnot.
Well, I mean, there's still like there were times like when someone we were playing with used what did they say? Like they said the N-word and like
The classic TF2 move.
Yeah. And nothing much came of it, like at all.
Right.
When I tried to talk to people about that, and like
they were complicit on a lot of the issues.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't take toxicity as serious as they should have. It's toxicity is one of those things that like might not seem super obvious, but like it can also like really degrade a community.
And the longer you accept it for, like the harder and harder it is to ever deviate from that because it gets seen as like an acceptable norm, yeah?
Yeah.
And I guess that's sort of how we see things the way they are today. Yeah. That's definitely sad to hear. But at least it's a new issue entirely, I guess.
The other thing about UGC is, like, there were a couple times where I had the season where I'd have multiple forfeit matches.
Sounds wonderful. Easiest season of your life.
I just realized I forgot to join the TF2 server you're on.
We are so professional. No way. Yeah, honestly, that's fun. Fair enough. It's full now anyway. That's a good one.
My server had... Never mind, the spot's been taken.
It's okay.
If anyone wants to imagine what they're missing, just imagine me on Sniper, and I'm bad at it. Oh hey, there's a spot.
Well, you know what they say, you miss every shot you don't take. So, what class did you usually play in competitive anyways? Like, what class did you start on?
So, even before competitive, I used to literally only play Scout.
Right, Scout. Okay.
I don't know, I would not recommend to do that. Like, I think playing different classes is good.
Oh yeah, definitely. It really, like, helps you learn more of the game.
My brain is not wired that way, and, like...
Built differently.
You can decide whether or not it's good or bad.
It's always good.
Count my hours. I just peaked, I have 1700 on Scout, and the next highest class is Sniper with 700.
So, did you ever do any seasons on Sniper back then in UGC?
Not in UGC. No.
That's true. I guess that was more along.
Seasons were on Scout. There was like 1 or 2 on Pyro, and there was one season where I played Medic. Because nobody else would Medic, so I was like, okay, I'll Medic.
How was that? Was it a life-changing experience?
It was a life-changing experience in that I found Medic very stressful.
That's fair.
And I think partway through the season, we ended up getting a different Medic.
So you were relieved of service. That's good. Well, mercenary type beat.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite experience from UGC as a whole? Like, what was your favorite part of UGC, rather?
My favorite part of UGC?
Yeah, it's easy to talk about the negatives with UGC, but, like, what was one thing you think maybe they do better than RGL, or at least that was better back then, not necessarily due to UGC themselves?
Yeah, it's also hard to talk about UGC, because, like, they were the only game in town, so, like...
Right.
It was hard. It's hard for me to feel a way about UGC because it's like, well, they existed.
Yeah, but do you have anything that like felt particularly good about it per se?
You could upload icons for your teams.
Ah, yes, individualism, being able to have art. I respect it.
No, somebody made this really sick like FITH Highlander logo.
So what would you say? Oh, sorry.
That was fun to have. I guess. Is it weird to say that like the thing I like about UGC is that they existed? Like.
No, something doesn't have to be the best. You can just be thankful for like the time it was during, or like its presence, even if it wasn't the best.
Like at a time when like we have stuff like Discord and. Like, uploading, like, TF2 has changed a lot since, and the internet has changed a lot since we've started.
Right.
And I think UGC was always there, even at the time when it was, like, a pain in the ass to, like, do website things and all that.
So would you say it was kind of just, like, reminiscent of the past, kind of like in a nicely nostalgic way of like simpler times when you're looking back at it?
What I think what I'm saying is that what I like about UGC is the thing I like about a lot of the comp community, which is that people cared enough to like make it and keep it working.
Yeah, it's really thankless work a lot of the time. You just get critiqued constantly. People offer problems rather than solutions. No, I definitely feel that.
Like, I don't know what UGC's financials are like, but, like, somebody has been paying money to, like, keep this league going.
They got mad backers, yo. They got all the sponsorships. It's definitely interesting seeing them try to, like, recompete with RGL these days. General Nick on the TFTV thread grind sets.
I don't read TFTV, unfortunately.
That's fair. Honestly, I'm happy for you. It's good for your mental health not to, honestly. So anyways, how was the transition to RGL initially for you?
I mostly joined because I wanted to try Prolander.
Right. And
So initially, like, I joined when RGL wasn't really doing that much. Like, they didn't have sixes yet. I joined in I think it was Prolander Season 2. I don't think I made it for Season 1.
and how was RGL like back then?
I think it was pretty good. Sigafu used to host Discord pugs.
Right, that's how we met initially, like around 2018 or so with the earlier RGL pugs. I kind of missed those days.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot more in-house back then. Do you feel like RGL kind of like has declined or handles things differently now?
I feel like they handle things okay. They're a lot bigger. Map is changing. You might be able to get in.
Okay. There's also an open slot on this one now. Or there was,
Oh.
never mind. If you set to auto queue, you get an I guess I can just queue for yours though.
How has RGL changed? I don't know. It's a lot bigger, and that's noticeable. Like, they've had to take on more formats.
How about staffing wise?
There's more of them running around.
How do you feel about the old staff compared to the new staff though?
It's hard to say. I'm not going to like name. No, I shouldn't name drop anyone. I won't.
I was just looking for like generalistic.
Staffing is staffing, and like, I don't know, it's easy to like look back at stuff with rose tinted glasses and be like, oh, RGL was better when it was smaller. But like, even when it was smaller, there were like people who were on staff who I was like, really? Is this the right best we can do?
You'd say it's kind of just like stayed the same. The only thing that's really changed that much is just like the size of the league and the goals.
I guess it's gotten bigger, it feels a little bit more impersonal and like.
That's fair. Would you say that felt a lot like how personal per se did it feel in the earlier days? Did it feel like it really catered to like individual players and team needs?
I can't say as much about team support, because I was mostly just working with like lowish level teams at the time, so.
Right. Helping out the newer players. That's pretty respectable.
Oh, this is gonna be a controversial take. I'm sorry.
Oh, what is it?
I liked the RGL Discord better before they merged it with the Highlander Discord.
No, I definitely agree with you there. It just felt like I don't know. I felt like there was just a lot more like worthless spam and just sort of like a lack of focus and direction. Like a lot of the toxicity per se, like, and this is also gonna be controversial, but it's like a lot of the toxicity it felt like came after like the Highlander Discord merge. Like before that, it felt like a lot of the toxicity was only in the Highlander Discord in comparison, and then the Prolander one was like a lot more chilled out, and it was just very focused around like the pugs and Prolander had a really nice atmosphere. And
I mean. Go ahead.
No, you go. You're the one person being interviewed.
I mean, I understand why they merged Discords, and like, I am not trying to dig on the Highlander players. Like, I think in most cases it's just a few bad apples, I guess, being loud.
Right.
But like, yeah, I think at that point, it's just one of the things about RGL growing is it's gonna get bigger, and with that, you run into more people, and I think there's more of a chance for negative experiences.
I definitely agree. Yeah, it's just like it doesn't matter if you have like 1,000 silent-ish, but like good influences. If you only have like a few bad people screaming, it's usually going to be much more noticeable and louder.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, we're kind of wired that way. We paid a lot more attention to the negative side of things than any of the positive, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Do you miss how Prolander used to be compared to its current state?
Mm, I haven't played Prolander in a couple of seasons.
Let me tell you what, it just doesn't really exist anymore, and when it is, it's just like a few short weeks. Usually on like Highlander-ish kind of maps, Highlander light maps, and then there's no pick bans anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Prolander wasn't as popular, but and Prolander has done some weird things, but with weapon bans and everything.
Yeah.
But like, I like Highlander with 2 less people. I like that.
Yeah, like for me personally, I kind of miss back when Prolander had more of its own identity. I feel like that's one of the things I disliked. It just felt like RGL kind of like took a lot of their focus and care away from Prolander when they switched to Highlander.
Yeah.
I felt like they made changes to make it more in line with Highlander, and that was sort of sad. Like I really enjoyed playing Prolander for the times I did play. But I guess it's just part of the growing pains. Yeah, I think Highlander's usually the more competitively acceptable format.
Yeah, I mean, I think Prolander is good, and I think I wish it had more room to grow, but like, it's hard when Highlander is both right there and well liked.
Right. And it's like they have to divert resources, administrate both of it. Both of them.
Yeah.
And then sixes as well eventually. But I don't know. I like RGL these days. I like what they've been trying to do, or at least what like some of the staff have tried to do, but that's one of the things that personally kind of like made me sad. It's just like I feel like the merge kind of killed off Prolander, yeah. Or not the merge, like the transition to Highlander.
Yeah, I don't know. In my like fantasy dream, I guess I wish there had been a way to like reform UGC.
UGC2, Electric Boogaloo.
Basically, yeah, and then because then you could have like UGC could be focused on Highlander, RGL could have Prolander, and well, okay, ESCA would have died anyway.
Yeah.
So that would have been a problem.
What if we outsourced it to the Australians or Europeans for sixes? What do you think about that?
I feel like that might cause some ping complaints.
Perhaps, but I think it's a pretty interesting theory, surely. It's totally flawless.
Maybe. Can we get some test pugs?
Yeah, let's... One sec. I am choking on a popcorn kernel.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, yes, that is finally managed to interrupt my train of thought and speech. We are so professional, holy sh... Okay, we're good. Yeah, so let's do some RGL test pugs. I do honestly miss, like, the RGL pugs back when, like, they were smaller, you know, it was just kind of like going to a local inn. You'd see a lot of the same people at like a very nice feel back then, but it's not necessarily like really RGL's fault, it was just part of the growing pains, yeah. Like, kind of going back to you saying it was impersonal, yeah.
And like, I don't know. I think pugs are like a good way to like give interest.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely.
People having a place where they can go to pug is, I think, important.
So how do you feel about RGL pugs in the present day compared to the past?
Do you still play RGL pugs?
No, I have not in like 2 years or so. For me personally, it became so much less fun around like 2019 or so. The player base changed a lot, and I was just like curious as to your own perspective on the matter. I know you like ran a lot of the pugs.
I haven't really played pugs since I stopped running them.
And when would that be for reference?
Good God. It had to be, I think it was during 2021, because that was when I went to the hospital. Oh, it would have been February. Probably early 2021.
Okay. And you were an RGL admin for a bit, yeah? Or like at least a pug admin?
Basically, yeah. I did, let me think. Yeah, I joined, I applied like twice to be a pug runner, and the second time I was accepted. And then I went from pug runner to pug moderator, to pug admin.
The triathlon.
Yes, I also did some other stuff. Fucking spy. Oh, we got me. Okay.
This do be a TF2
I
moment.
also I had a certified TF2 moment.
As you're saying.
I did some other stuff too. Like there were some I helped with 1-day cups. There was some for one, like I helped someone where an admin stepped down, and I ended up doing like a season's worth of like match scheduling. I have no idea which season it was now.
Fair
I
enough.
did some other miscellaneous stuff. I helped with guides a little bit. I was on the graphics team for a bit.
So, what was it all like working for RGL?
Oh, and I was head Discord moderator. Let's
Oh,
not forget that.
Oh no, you gotta tell me about some of this. What was it like? All these various positions, any like interesting happenings, good times and bad times, those sorts of things.
Pugs, the pug stuff can be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
It can also be a lot of work because you have to. When I did it, like you had to do that for like a few hours of just wrangling everybody, getting the matches set, making sure the matches were balanced, making the server behave, making sure the people behave.
Right.
And then there's like administrative stuff, like how the back end changed. I'm not going to I won't say too much about the back end, but I will say like when I started, we were using a Google spreadsheet.
Oh no.
It had a custom script to like help with balancing and stuff.
You know, I think I was there for that time period, yeah, for a little bit.
You might have been.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got the medic. And when I left, they had a different, better back end.
So, what was your favorite position at RGL for like all the time and positions you spent working on it?
Interesting question. I think being like a pug runner or like pug moderator, or just helping out with the pugs, honestly.
That's fair. Did it have like a very nice kind of like work culture there? Did it feel like you were a part of something bigger?
It felt good to be a part of something. It felt good to help maintain a place where people could come and play.
Right, especially for like go to official league, yeah.
And it was interesting to see like how people acted when they played, if that makes sense.
So let's talk about that a bit more. What was your like favorite sort of thing that people did in pugs? Like the people. Favorite sort of behavior from them, I guess.
It's hard to say because there's a lot of like things people do. God, I'm a little bit tired. What was the name of that map? I can't remember the name of the stupid map. It has a pit at the end. Not this one.
Fair enough.
Anyways, there was one payload map that would like surprise people a lot.
Swiftwater?
It wasn't Swiftwater, but like they think they get a bad time, and then they would turn out that like they'd cap it in the last second.
I
guess a lot of my favorite things is like teams that would like manage to do bad and then pull it back together.
And did you have a fun time just like constructing the teams, trying to balance things out?
That I wouldn't necessarily call that fun.
I see. Did you do much in the way of like experimental maps, funny pugs, those sorts of things?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of things I was in charge of wrangling. But one of the things I did was, I am convinced CTF is a good comp format.
Oh my god, that is a take right there. Uncle Dan wants to know your location.
Have to live with that. Oh.
You've been exposed.
Anyways, and I decided to see how it played on Prolander.
How was it?
Not good. Not good, and I have the surveys to back it up.
The stats, the data.
No, because one time I was like, could I try Prolander on CTF and see if it was in much nicer words. That's a bad idea. But he was like, but you can play test it if you want, and I did.
You have a fun time at least?
It was. I mean, it was interesting.
That's fair. It reminds me of when I did a RD asteroid pug. There was quite a bit of discussion and drama that arose from that. I was filling in for some experimental plugs. The people wanted it, and I was like, sure. And things happened. We at RGL love to innovate, and I'm not affiliated with RGL, by the way.
I don't think either of us are affiliated with RGL.
Not anymore.
Oh, that's
we just have to leave it like
name.
ominous, you know? Gotta leave people thinking, what did they do? Was it the asteroid incident? But, did you have any people you especially enjoyed working with on the staff team? Like, was it a pleasure working with Sigafu personally?
Yeah, Sigafu was great. Shoot. He is a nice guy. If I randomly curse or swear, it is the video game, nothing related to what I'm actually talking about.
Alright. I guess I'll believe you.
But yeah, Sigafu was nice. Constantly yachts, they're nice.
Oh yeah, Constantly, it's a great person. I remember yachts from the Pug days. Do you have any experiences with Sigafu you'd like to talk about? Anything interesting?
Let me think.
I feel like it's just like not something many people get to say that like they had that much interaction with Sigafu, at least not these days, from what I'd imagine.
I think it's hard to say like a specific incident, but one thing I always appreciate about Sigafu is that he generally like has his staff's back, I guess.
Yeah, you feel like you're always being supported, kind of.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
I made a meme about this, which will not see the light of day, but no, I have made memes and sent them to Sigafu.
I remember some interesting Sigafu memes, yeah. Great guy, though. I really, we really respect the work he's done, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the Pug team like? Like the Pug staff team?
I mean, I think I appreciate, like, everyone on the Pug staff team. Like, it's not easy.
Did you usually, like, work together ever, like, balance things together, kind of share the workload?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I feel like the schedule was pretty good. It's, when we did that, the schedule was a bit open-ended. It was when, like, people were available to run and when they could do stuff.
Right. That's definitely interesting. I feel like a lot of pugs like these days, or a lot of pugs in general, just aren't really as scheduled in comparison, and that was definitely an interesting difference when I like worked for RGL as a pug runner for a bit.
Yeah, the goal was to just, get enough people so that hopefully most of the days will be covered.
Right.
I mean, people are still people. Like, people get sick, stuff comes up, but...
I remember I got like super anxious with the schedule, yeah. I think that was one of the reasons why I dipped out eventually. Oh, no, I kind of do that a lot, though, to be fair. I kind of just drift in and out. So anyways. Would you say that RGL kind of overextended itself when they initially adopted Highlander and or sixes?
I don't know. It's hard to say, because, like, there are problems with UGC. I know you don't want to focus on the negatives, but, like,
No, it's definitely good to hear about them.
And I think, like, people wanting a new Highlander League is understandable, honestly.
I think RGL maybe, like, has made a bad impression, though, with Highlander. Do you think, like, they messed anything up initially?
That's a good question.
That's fair.
I wasn't as involved with the Highlander side. It's... Oh, I killed you. Hello.
Gaming.
I feel like it's hard to say about, like, the initial introduction of Highlander, just because I wasn't as involved. Like, there was a part of me that was like, I don't want Highlander to be part of RGL, just because I liked RGL being RGL.
There are two sides of you: RGL Prolander, RGL Highlander.
But if I were going to cause look at when around the time the Highlander started, you had to look at who was active in the league. Like ESEA was still alive, UGC was doing this thing. I think the other, what was it called? Sidulars League was also kind of existing at the time.
TFCL, yeah.
TFCL was existing at the time, but if I were going to look at all the options and choose someone to take over Highlander, it probably would be RGL. That's probably the league I would go up to and be like, "Hey, I want to do a thing. Can you support me?"
Speaking of TFCL, do you have any interesting experiences with that? I feel like that's not something that gets talked about too much. Except for when Sidular makes another announcement.
I don't have a lot to say about TFCL. I was on a no scrim team. No scrim Highlander team in TFCL.
Ah, interesting.
And that, I mean, it was a no scrim team. It went okay, but that was fun. I did ulti duo.
So, what did TFCL do differently than UGC and RGL?
I don't want to besmirch the good name of Sidular.
I respect that.
I have no ill will with him. Up front, I will say it just felt like TFCL was not as well organized, and I also feel like part of it is you have to compete, because it's not just enough to offer Highlander. You need to show why you're a better option than UGC or RGL. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. I'm not sure if I regret my choice. I'm not sure if I regret my choice to leave in-game text on or not.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, that's fair. It's definitely interesting to just hear about all these things. I personally wasn't really ever involved with TFCL. I didn't ever actually get around to playing it.
Yeah, I mean it was fine.
Yeah. Fair enough. Let's see. So what was your least... Get back around to the pug thing. What was your least favorite thing that some of the pug player base consistently did? If I recall from my time there was just some issues with people not wanting to play medic, people always trying to play spy or the same class, kind of.
Yeah, getting people to because there's a few class spots that are just. Let me know if you could hear my cat nuzzling my mic, by the way.
I can't, at least not right now.
Okay, there's a few classes that were just always popular, like sniper, scout, spy.
Right.
And then no one wants to medic, so that was always a bit of a thing.
How did you usually end up resolving it?
I don't know. I wish there was a smoother system. Because it basically boils down to if you don't ready up in 5 minutes, we're going to redo the we're going to just cancel the pug.
Rupper forfeit win.
Basically, yeah. And if people aren't sharing classes, you have to be well, I'm sorry, you're not sharing classes, so you have to switch, and it's one of those things that's always been I wish there was a better way to do this, or a way to convince people that for the general health of pugs, you need to sometimes do things you don't want to do.
The hardest choices require the strongest of wills. Yeah, it's definitely fair. So, how is FITH these days?
I am not really involved in FITH much anymore. It's due to personal reasons, but I guess I would just say that like FITH kind of changed over time, or I changed over time. So that our like values weren't necessarily, shouldn't say values, like I just didn't feel like FITH and I were in sync anymore, like the community and me.
Right, like sometimes people in communities just like drift apart, yeah, they grow and change. That's definitely
Yeah.
fair. Okay. Let's see.
I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about the Shaggy thing, but can I talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. I feel like if you want to, it's perfectly fine.
I'm not going to recount exactly what Shaggy did. If you want to know, go look up his band profile. But it was inappropriate conduct with a minor, and that's it. Nothing more to say. But I think like one of the hardest things was like immediately after the community like learned about this, I had to sit and moderate the Discord.
Oh, yeah. And I
And
imagine.
people made a lot of like jokes about like what had happened.
Right, and it seems kind of like haha funny to them, but then it's just like it doesn't really affect them as much, right? Like they can just do that, but then it's like they don't.
That was like one of the hardest things, was like seeing people joke about like this is someone's life that had just had a terrible time, and I was having a terrible time because that was someone I spoke with literally every day.
Right, and it's just like they keep bringing you up, they keep pushing your buttons, and I feel like that's one of the things with like the competitive community, or at least like just in a lot of the more puggy circles, like it feels like people just love to keep pushing boundaries and buttons, and they never really like back down, and then they take any attempt at that as just like a challenge, you know?
It's that, and then I think part of it is that like one person being a shithead, but like if you're working in like a moderator or even just a staff capacity, like it's never just one person being a jerk.
Right, it's like a group.
Yeah, there's like 15 of them, and like
right, and it's really hard to just like punish all of them.
It's hard, but it's also like even if you do, like by the time you punish 3 people for one thing, you get to the 4th person, and it's just, I think part of it was I would get kind of frustrated with like having to like repeatedly deal with people.
No, I definitely get there. Like I definitely relate to that with my own groups, and it's just like I feel like another part of that is that like the pressure never really alleviates. Like it just builds up, right? Like you ban people, and then their friends start like being problematic or like just refusing to like understand where you're coming from, right? They just keep pushing.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I think
part
of what got me away from everything was like I was getting kind of snappy with people. Oh, I'm standing in a terrible spot. But I was getting kind of snappy with people, I think a bit unnecessarily in ways. Because like I said, like by the 15th time someone makes the same joke, it's like I've had to deal with this 15 times, and it's like, and it's very easy to like, I think, look at the person who did the thing and be like, you are the cause of like all the problems in the world, but it's not. It's a toxic culture,
right?
That people I think need to actively fight. But like after a certain point, it just gets exhausting.
Right. It's like, I don't know, like to some people who are a bit more distanced from the situation, like it might seem like more like a haha joke, but then it's like when they're kind of like posting those sorts of memes, when they're kind of like relating it to you because you also like do this sort of thing, right? You also moderate Discord or like you run pugs, and it's just like, yes, it is kind of memey to be something like a Discord mod, right? But then if you're doing it for a league, like there's actually a bit of a necessity for it, and people just treat you with like such disrespect, right?
God, yeah. If I never have to hear another Discord mods or pedo jokes, I can like die happy.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't really bother you until it's like you have to have it, it personally starts affecting you. Then people just like don't take a step back.
Close comments on my Steam profile after this.
Hey, they can all go to my comment section, it'll be a war zone. Call the Europeans and Australians and... Okay, maybe not the Europeans for this one.
If you want to go be a shitlord on someone's profile, Bliztank.
Yeah, I'm the target. As always, it's the moral obligation. Anyways, so yeah, at a certain point, it's like you love to like keep contributing to keep doing your part, but at a certain point, it just like becomes too mentally overwhelming, yeah, and you just have to like take a step back and stop doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like burnout.
To make a long story short, I ended up in the hospital for a bit. And that was basically like when I decided to quit RGL.
Right.
I wouldn't say the hospitalization was. Sorry, got distracted. I wouldn't
That's
say
it.
the hospitalization was strictly related to RGL, but
It definitely didn't help, yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of stress in my life, and like I sat down and looked at everything, and I was like, no, I don't think I can keep doing this anymore.
Yeah. That's a bit of a dark topic, but I'm glad you're still around now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, it's just like easy to joke about and all, but then it's just like it personally affects somebody, and it's just like really
Yeah.
hard to just ignore that or act like it's fine to be joking about that sort of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just like that incidents, it's also like I used to maintain like Discord moderation for a bit. So like when people kept trying to like figure out inventive ways to go through the filter and stuff, like I'd have to update that.
Oh god, I remember the emotes. Remember it.
Oh god, do you remember Cat Smirk?
Yes.
God, fucking Cat Smirk.
There are certain other ones that I will not mention by name.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, it's stuff like that.
Yeah, and like a lot of the time people joke about it, but like they just keep pushing, so it's like, yeah, people like Discord mods get unreasonable. And it's like, I wanna like there is a definite purpose to a league having a like Discord mods and having it be like somewhat professional and accommodating to newer players and people who aren't into that sort of awful behavior.
Yeah.
It's just like you just get ridiculed for endlessly. And then eventually like you just stop really being able to contribute to the community, and I feel like that's kind of one of the consistent issues we see. It's just so easy to get burnt out. Sorry, as you're saying.
It's easy to get burnt out, and I think it's easy to like after you quit the league, like a lot of people get really grumpy about the league.
Yeah. Hard to look back on it with good memories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely important to just like hear the why from the people in question, yeah, to like be able to see it from their perspective, I'd say. And that was kind of like one of my inspirations for starting to do this. It like gives you a personal idea of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it really is just like thankless work to like administrate, to do things for the community here, but it's necessary all the same. It
is.
It's just really easy to look at all the negative and never really see the positive as a result when you're looking back at it, yeah.
I mean, I did enjoy like working for RGL, like it is, a very popular league. I got to work on something that like people enjoyed.
Right. And it feels very rewarding and fulfilling, I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of those things where it's like, it was a good time, but you don't really ever want to like go back to it unless it changes, right? Or at least like most of it was a good time.
I mean, there have been times where I'll see like RGL tweets or posts that they're looking for people, and there's a little part of my brain that's like, oh, maybe. It's
Same.
like, no. It's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. You haven't even played TF2 in months. No, we're not doing that.
It also kind of sucks because it's like you at a certain point you start to be able to recognize that even if you do like come back and put yourself back in that situation, like at a certain point you're still just gonna be like burnt out, and then you aren't gonna be able to do much good anyways.
Yeah.
Especially after you've already like had those experiences before, unless something changes. I don't know. It's just really interesting to talk about. I don't feel like it really gets talked about enough.
Oh dear. I think my internet might be acting up.
Nope, it's the server.
It's the server. Well, at least it's not my internet.
No way. They killed they attacked Uncle Topia. No way. So what have you been up to recently?
Let's see. What have I been up to recently? I've been making some progress in my personal life, and well, some of it is personal. I feel like I'm doing better than I was when I quit RGL.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually, like, once you get distance from those situations, you can kind of, like, start to process it and kind of just, like, yeah, it doesn't hurt as much after enough time, but it's like the longer you kind of stay in those situations for, like, the more it's gonna keep hurting, right? Until you eventually do distance from it.
Yeah. I've also been drawing more. That's fun. Voidshroom.art. VOIDSHROOM.art. I have stickers, pins on Etsy, magnets.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm on.
I will bully Discord, or I will bully Bliztank to put a link in the comment section.
No way. Whoops, that's poor soldier. So, I'm in Chicago too, by the way, if you want to join Attack Defense too, you can actually just join off me on Steam, it's not very full.
Okay.
But, I think, honestly, like, that runs through about most of the questions I had in mind, if you want to just, like, chill, talk about random stuff for a bit.
Okay.
You got any questions for me?
Yeah, how did you get into podcasting?
Honestly, I just got kind of bored of, like, the content I was making, and I was like, I really just want to give people some perspective and just see where it goes. Just, like, talk about competitive players with their competitive experience, kind of, like, give the community more awareness, tell people the stories, like, from the people themselves, because it's like, I feel like you just don't really learn about it through text that much. It's a lot easier to just, like, have it be drowned out when you're directly talking in text, or, like, a biased source, yeah. And I feel like it's just interesting to have it be said in a more neutral place, kind of. And I feel like that's really the only ways for these communities to, like, start to progress, to just, like, come together and gain awareness on things, you know? I think when you only have, like, one voice giving a message, it's just super easy for it to get drowned out based off of, like, individual things, yeah. I don't know. I have a mix of those things, I guess. Honestly, though, it's just something I really enjoy doing. It feels like this is a way to kind of contribute to the community while also, like, enjoying myself, yeah. I guess mostly just that. I kind of want to ramble on it a bit more, but I don't know what else I'd actually really, like, say that I haven't said already.
I'm going to answer some questions no one asked. Why did I change my name to wolfteeth? I was just kind of tired of, I mean, it's been my Discord name for a while, but I changed my RGL name to it and my Steam name to it. Cause, like, I would go in servers and people would be like, oh my god, is that the real Darzie? And, like, no, it's the fake Darzie. I'm sorry.
Fake Darzie parentheses isn't real.
I got banned from, RGL, chat once. For that. Cause my stream is the real Darzie. And I was in a voice chat with an admin friend, not saying who, to protect the guilty.
Of course, of course.
And they were like, oh, is that... And I said something in chat, and they were like, wait, is the real Darzie, is that you? And I was like, no, it's not me. Because that's the joke everyone makes. And they banned me. And I was like, wait, that was me. And they were like, but you said it wasn't. I was like, that's the joke.
Sounds like 1984.
I do not think so. Apparently, what had happened is earlier someone had come in impersonating RGL staff members with like the real ... name. So
well, you see that, Darzie.
That's a thing people do if they have time.
Yes, we love our trolling. But what you don't understand, Darzie, right? Is that you're not a TF2 player if you won't say literally any administrative action is 1984.
Oh, I guess I'm not a TF2 player.
You heard it here. Darzie does not play TF2.
No, I play a lot of Killing Floor 2 now, and City of Heroes.
KF2. Okay, so what was your reaction when this Bliztank guy was like, "Hey, do you want to be interviewed?" What was going through your mind? Were you like, "Oh God, oh fuck, this guy is a criminal, thug even"?
I was mostly like, why? But I will talk about TF2.
Gaming.
Even if I don't play TF2, like, I love TF2.
We love TF2. Alright. Any more questions to ask and answer yourself?
Yes. How was moderating Twitch for the Highlander Grand Finals?
Oh,
Terrible, thank you for
oh
asking.
dear God, no. I'm sorry for you. Yeah.
In general, my thoughts boil down to don't be toxic.
So okay, I do actually have another one for you.
Yes.
So a lot of the time, it's like you get disrespect for like a misstring in TF2, right? Like it's rather thankless. But were there any like particular times where it felt like people were really like rewarding or appreciative of your work?
I guess it's just whenever pugs like actually went well. Like that always felt really good to have happen. Or like when people would be like, why are there no pugs? And I could be like, guess what? Pugs.
Pugs. Why not? What was your longest RGL plug session? How many did you do? How long did it last? An hour?
Oh god. I think there was like times when I hosted pugs for 3 or 4 hours. A couple times.
Kind of reminds me of when I ran pugs from like 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. one day.
Why?
Yes.
That was one of those things when people would be like, pugs are ending, but it's early, and it's like, I've been here for 3 hours.
Unfortunate. So, are you that in the loop about like current Highlander happenings? If so, do you have any thoughts?
I'm not really that in the loop, much of the loop about current.
Okay. Fair enough then. Don't really have much to ask you on that matter. But how do you feel about constantly as RGL HL head admin now?
Constantly's a good guy. Did you say Highlander head admin or
Yeah,
like
Highlander.
overall head admin?
Highlander.
Yeah, Constantly's a good. I think he has a level head on his shoulders, so.
Alright, that's pretty nice to hear, pretty good to hear, yeah. How did Highlander and RGL feel compared to Highlander and UGC? What you did play?
That's a tough question.
Yeah, that one kind of slipped my mind earlier. It's a really important one, though. Major skill issue.
The other sniper is laughing at me.
You should laugh at them back.
Do I even have... I'm not sure I have the shot in for you.
Unfortunate. Anyways, as you were saying.
I guess it felt a little bit more organized, if that makes sense.
GC or RGL?
RGL felt more organized.
Yeah, like more broken down by division, smaller, yeah. Smaller divs, more divs. How did it actually feel as, like, a player, though? Like, there is their, like, organization from an administrative standpoint, but how did it feel to play in comparison? Was there, like, a noticeable difference?
I'm not sure there was that much of a difference. I felt like it was a bit easier to like reach out for RGL for like league stuff, but that might just be because Discord proliferated by then.
Right. Okay, so moving on from that question, do you have any like community servers you favorite these days?
I'm just dipping my toes back into TF2 for a bit. Cause like I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2 and some City of Heroes. And then I was like, TF2 was good. I should play it some more.
That's fair.
And I have discovered I have forgotten how to do everything.
Gaming.
Gaming.
That is all.
But yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking I might stream TF2 some more.
That could be definitely fun, yeah. Might hop
Yeah.
in sometime with you.
Yeah. Stream or Twitch will take away my subscription button.
You are losing subscriber.
I don't know if Twitch will take away my subscription button or how that works,
Probably.
but
I feel like you need to keep affiliate status or something. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Do community servers feel different these days compared to the past? Did it feel like community server culture has changed that much?
I would say the Meet Your Match update had a pretty big difference. Because a lot of traffic gets going to Valve servers instead of community servers, which is, I don't know.
That's definitely fair, yeah. So it's a lot of the more niche community servers kind of just died out.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely struggling with population, I think.
Right. Did you have a favorite server or anything that has died out?
Oh god, what were they called? There's a few things I miss that kind of died out. A lot of the weird stuff had more of a population back in the day, like
right.
Fort Wars.
That reminds me of Gmod. A lot of a decent few of the more niche older game modes died. Freda, for instance, with the newest Gmod version. Or Gmod 13 now if it's newest anymore. But that's definitely fair, yeah.
When I first joined, started looking around for community servers before I joined up with FITH, there was this really nice community server that was I can't remember the exact name, but Sandwich was in there somewhere.
Crit Sandwich Network?
What was that?
Crit Sandwich Network, CSN?
Nope, not them.
Different.
See. This would have been in 2010, I think. It was a fairly old community, but it had very nice people.
Oh no, I feel like that was a server chain for a while. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, it may be, but it's not the one I'm thinking of.
That's fair.
This wasn't a chain, it was just one little community
server. Or maybe
server.
it was just one, I don't know. Not a chain. Whatever.
Another fun thing is I got to see the Brony invasion.
Okay, you gotta explain this.
What do you mean?
What is the Brony invasion? What did it happen? Just give the details.
So back in, was it 2011? Whatever, back in the near distant past, at some point, a new My Little Pony show came out called Friendship is Magic. It was very popular amongst both girls and nerds. I've watched it. I maintain it is a genuinely funny, well-animated show. I would not recommend it unless you already like animation.
Okay. So how did it affect the servers, though?
It didn't so much affect the servers as the whole internet. Everywhere you went, there were bronies.
Let's see. Bronies.
You joined a server, there were bronies. You joined another server, there were bronies.
Gmod as well,
yeah. You joined the server was owned by bronies.
Bronies. Bronies everywhere.
Even FITH had bronies.
Nice.
No one was safe. There were just ponies everywhere.
Alright, well are there any closing thoughts or things you want to say? If not, I think it's about time to wrap this one up because we've been going for an hour and 8 minutes.
Okay, my cat is very cute.
Yes, as shown at the start, Ponk's amazing. Best cat.
Yes.
Ponks is the official cat of the Cats and Hats podcast, the 50 viewer best TF2 podcast, so professional, you love this. Sponsored by the China National TF2 team, of course.
I will tell her she has the honor of being the official cat.
Yes, she needs to get the t-shirt as well.
I'm not sure. She does have a kitty sweater. I can put her in that.
Okay. Make sure it's red, though.
It's pink.
Close enough. Okay. Well, that will be all for the interview. I'd sometimes just talk about like casual stuff, other things for a bit, but I feel like we've kind of covered that.
Thank you for listening. If you got this far, I appreciate you.